On the political left, there's the belief that all people need is relief. They need stuff. On the right, you think of a Republican politician going up to a little girl living with her mother in a car and saying, "Sweetheart, you know what you need to do? You need to start a small business." If you look at free enterprise advocates today in the political sphere, what they're talking about is things like debt reduction, fighting the deficit, trying to lower regulation, lowering taxes, all good stuff. I mean, I have a PhD in that line of products, basically, but it doesn't get the job done. And the reason it doesn't get the job done is because that is not purpose-driven. That's product-driven. Think about the shutdown fights and the free enterprise advocates in the shutdown fights. They would get up in front of the microphone and they would talk about fighting against things. We fight against things. Well, you know what? That's not very compelling. We shouldn't be fighting against things. We should be fighting for people. It's not politics that matter most. It's not money that matters most. No. It's culture and values that matter most. We know what leads people to have the best life. We know that, and it's not okay for institutions around us, for politically correct reasons, to say, you can't talk about families. You can't talk about communities. You can't talk about faith. You can't talk about work. The truth of the matter is, if you don't talk about those things, you've consigned 25% of the population permanently to ride in the back of the cart. When you actually ask people that have lived through these really trying experiences in the way that, Jeb, you and I haven't, they say, we need three things. Not exactly in these words, but let's be social scientists for a minute. We need transformation, relief, and opportunity in that order. Transformation, relief, and opportunity. And transformation starts with culture. Transformation is faith, family, community, and work. That's it. That's the beginning of the whole process of getting people into the process of rising. And then relief really matters. I mean, one of the things that we have to, in my view, that we get wrong in the free enterprise movement is this war against the social safety net, which is just insane. The government social safety net for the truly indigent is one of the greatest achievements of our society. I tell you the problem with entitlements today, and it's this, and here's the instructive example. If we don't get entitlements under control, we're going to be insolvent. If we become insolvent, there's going to be austerity. And when there's austerity, mark my words, it's not going to touch me, it's going to touch the poor, because it always does. There's never been economic austerity in the history of world macroeconomics that didn't affect the poor the most. If you love the least of these, our brothers and sisters, we must be at war against austerity, and the only way to do that is by being solvent as an economy, and the only way to deal with that is through entitlement reform, and that's how we need to argument in every single one of our policies.
I agree with that.